Okay, now, so let's get started. I'm going to deal with chapter 1. A couple of ideas, a couple of things in chapter 1 I want to talk about. This is not the test review. This is just some stuff I wanted to just make sure you're clear on. I wanted to make sure that we're clear on the some key things that we talked about in chapter 1. Can anyone tell me what the mantu is? The soul. The soul. And who has the soul?
A living thing, like a human or an animal.
The nature.
Anyone saw Avatar? You saw the movie Avatar? A lot of the concepts that we're learning about the Naskapi and soul and the Mantu is in the movie Avatar because they are based on American Indian religion. A lot of it is based on that. And what we learned, and what I want you to be clear on, is the fact that the Mantu is considered the great soul, but also Mantu means soul, that it's not just in people and animals, but in plants. Do you remember when in Avatar they connected to that big tree and the big fight was over that big tree? Because Native American religion sees there's a soul-ish element even in plant life, if you understand what I'm saying. And so I wanted to be sure that you were clear on that particular aspect. And then also we talked about the Aztecs. Why do Aztecs practice cannibalism and so much focus on blood? What was that about? Say again? Sacrifices? I heard someone else. There you go. Exactly. Agricultural religions, and we didn't get into this. It was if you watched the video about the introduction to religion, you might want to go back this weekend and take a look at that video. It's not long, but it talks about, and I may have touched on it, I don't remember, agricultural religions, religions that focus on agriculture. They subsist, their whole life revolves around having a positive or a bountiful harvest. And so they make sacrifices to the gods so that they might have a bountiful harvest. Well, the Aztecs believe, as you pointed out, the god that they serve, is it the sun god? Did you say that?
Yeah, the sun god.
You're correct. The sun god, they sacrifice blood to the sun god in exchange for a bountiful harvest, for his favor, the God's favor in terms of having a successful harvest. And that is a significant aspect of indigenous religions. Everybody doesn't practice blood sacrifice, but they all practice some type of a sacrifice for the benefit of agricultural success. You follow me? Whether it be sacrificing plants or feeding the god certain things. The Aztecs uniquely have this blood sacrifice approach. All right. The other group that I don't have on this little presentation is those that are hunter-gatherers. And they also make sacrifices as well so that they can have success in their hunting pursuits. Okay? Now, what's very interesting, and this is not part of the test or anything, but as I listened, as I watched, and, as I lecture more about this on a face-to-face basis, I'm seeing how there's a quid pro quo type relationship between these gods and the people that worship them. God won't do stuff unless you do something first. If you understand what I'm saying. There's a quid pro quo. There's a works orientation where you have to do something to get something. All right? And so we see that a lot in a lot of religions. Let's move on to chapter 2. And I have a feeling I messed up because I did not bring my folder. And I'll have to see. I'll find it. I'll do it another way. All right. So let's look at chapter 2. There's some things I want to point out in chapter 2. How many read the story of Isis, Osiris, Set, and Horus in your textbook? The reason I bring this up is because that story shows up in a lot of other religions. It shows up in Mesopotamian religions. The names will change, but the situation is exactly the same. Where there's a brother and sister, a husband and a wife that marry, and then someone, Set or Seth, as it might be in your textbook, tricks Osiris into getting into a coffin, and he seals him in there, and he dies. And somehow Isis revives Osiris, and then they have a child, and Horus is the result. When we get to chapter 7, you're going to see the same type of story, but the names are different. It's Tammuz, Ishtar, and all of that. And so you see that there is a continuity of these kinds of mythological stories that pass from one nation state to another, and from one period to the other, and it just changes names. You go as far as Japan, and you have some similar ideas between the origins of things. By the way, I should also mention that one of the things that each religion has some type of discussion about is about life and death. And when we talk about the Naskapi, they have a particular view of life and death. What happens when you die according to Native American religion?
Reincarnation.
Somewhat. Okay? Egyptians also have a view of life and death. You go to the underworld. Okay? Because the god Osiris becomes the god of the underworld. And so when Egyptians die, when we look at the pyramids, what are we looking at when we look at a pyramid, by the way? What is a pyramid built for? It's a tomb. That's correct. And all of these things that are placed in the tomb with the dead pharaoh, what's the purpose of putting it in that tomb?
Because they believe in reincarnation.
Not quite reincarnation, but it is to help them on the journey into the afterlife, or into what's it called? The underworld. Yes.
Didn't they add materials in the tombs to help them on their journey?
Exactly. That's my point. And so that's another view. Every religion, one way or the other, has a view of life and death. I didn't put that in the notes, but I want you to notice that, because as we go through this process, you're going to notice that that there's some views. When we get to Hinduism, it's a whole nother point of view. Okay? Now, I didn't mention this, but I want you to make sure you're aware of this guy named Akhenaten. The reason why it's important is because Akhenaten introduced the worship of one God in Egypt. And normally, monotheistic religion is really anathema in Egyptian religion. In fact, it only lasted as long as he was alive, and immediately after he died, they went back to their polytheistic approach. But it's very important to know that Akhenaten introduced a one God worship in Egypt. And the name of that God was Amun-Ra. Okay? All right? I just wanted you to be aware of that. Now, there are some people that believe that this monotheistic approach to religion was influenced by the Hebrews coming into Egypt. Okay? I'm not suggesting that that's true or false. I'm just saying that there are some that view that Akhenaten was influenced by the influx of a monotheistic religious group of people. Okay? And so that's something I want you to be aware of. I just wanted you to be aware of, I can't pronounce that, Aludamare and Orishas. You're going to see that again in the future. You're going to see that later on, especially Orishas. I don't think we're testing on that, but I just wanted you to be aware that those may come back up again when we come into the latter part of the semester. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay. Now, I want to spend a little time here. When we talk about Hinduism, and I mentioned last time we were in class, that it's clear to me that Hinduism is the root or the origin of a lot of Eastern religions. Either they attached themselves or expanded upon the concepts of Hinduism, or it was a reaction against Hinduism, if you follow me. Mm-hmm. And so this is one of the reasons why Hinduism is important to understand, because out of this religion, many other religions have kind of sprung out. Okay, and as we move forward into Unit 2, we're going to see that more and more. Okay? All right? And so, someone tell me what samsara is.
What's what?
Samsara. Think of samsara. I don't see any. I must have took it out. Let me get a pen.
Isn't it rebirth?
What did you say?
Rebirth?
Rebirth is correct. The term samsara is considered something like a wheel. It's a wheel where when you die, you get off that wheel, but you jump back on again. And you keep going around and around. Every time you die, you come back. And why it's important is because when you're born into a certain caste. The Brahmins, it's been a long time since I've had to pronounce that word. Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, and Untouchables. This is the highest rank. Does anybody come on in. Does anybody know what the Brahmins are? So is it in your on your sheet?
Priests.
They're the priests of the highest caste. While you're looking for that, let me get some of these names off my list. Okay, who just came? Yes, ma'am.
You're saying samsara, like
Samsara is the wheel of life. When you die, you jump back on that wheel and come.
It was samsara.
Samsara. Yes, ma'am. Okay, who just came in? Just give me a name so I can cross you off. Frankie, you're here. Natalie, got you. Yep. Daniela, I like the way you said it. So, Michelle? Abigail? Oriana? Michael? Okay. For those that came late, you have so you can take notes on that. You have until midnight to upload your assignment to to the Canvas. Please put a heading on your assignment. Every assignment should have a heading. You should have your name, what it is, put a heading on it. So if you haven't done that, now go back and edit it and put a heading. Just the same kind of heading you put on your short writing assignment. Put a heading on it. Because I don't grade papers without headings. You get a 0. All right? But I don't penalize you or make you resubmit it with a heading. So if it doesn't have a heading now, make that correction so that when I correct your papers later, I can just go ahead and give you your 100%. Okay?
Yes.
All right, good. So let's talk about these who are the untouchables? Tell me who are they?
Gods.
Oh no. Oh no. No.
They're
Go ahead, help him out. Go ahead. What were the untouchables? Where's my book?
I remember they're like the lowest of the caste.
They're the lowest of the castes.
Not even the upper ones can like approach them. Right? Something like that.
Not even who? The term tells you. You can't even touch them. These are the people that they work the lowest, the most menial jobs. They clean sewers, they touch garbage, they deal with. They are given the responsibility for doing the most vile and unclean, horrible, filthy jobs. And this is how it works in Hinduism. You are born into whatever caste that is. If you're born an untouchable, you stay an untouchable all of your life. How do you move from the lower caste to the higher caste? How do you get there? What do you have to do?
You gotta do something.
Work your way up.
Say again?
Work your way up.
Work your way up. How do you do that? Yes, sir.
If you're a woman, you could just marry someone.
Yeah, that's kind of slick.
Yeah.
You can marry your way up.
Yeah.
But
For the minutes.
but otherwise, how do you do it? This is the key word, karma.
Oh, yeah.
Key word is karma. What makes karma so important is karma is how you get brownie points in the life the caste that you are born into. Okay? And so you earn good karma so that when you die and come back, you might be bumped up to another level in your next life. Yes, sir.
I thought they wouldn't marry outside their class.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how it is, and if she could, depending on how you look. I'm just messing with you. I don't know. I have no idea. But according to the text, it's possible to do it. But you got to be very, very persuasive to work your way up that way.
Because I was gonna say, like, I thought like they wouldn't even like go next to untouchable, so like who would sit there and marry one?
That's correct. That's correct. But you can perhaps marry up in these areas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I wish.
Which one is the warrior class?
Oh,
Second one?
No, the Brahmins are priestly, the highest caste.
It's the second one.
yes.
Okay? Please know that. I haven't memorized it. That's why I have the book in my hand. I was going to go to the page and try to figure it out myself because I don't memorize this stuff.
I think it wasn't the
Huh?
I didn't have problem finding that one guy because she.
Well, let's see if I can find it for you in the book.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll tell you
Page
what. Page what?
80.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. What's your name?
Kendall.
Kendall. Thank you, Kendall. Save my bacon. Page 80, are you sure? Yes.
Okay.
Page 73. Who has your book? Here we are. Page 80, Karma. I urge you to go home and read this if you haven't read it yet. You're going to see this again, I think. Don't proceed the test. Okay? Samsara is the wheel of life. You constantly, you're born into a caste. You live that life and try to earn as much good karma. You die and you come back. Imagine if you messed up in the last couple of days of your life and you die and you wake up again and you down here. I said, oh Lord, I gotta go through all this and I gotta work my way back up. Okay? And so these are the terms. Now, what is moksha? Page 80. Go back and look at that. That'll tell you what these various castes are. What is moksha?
The release of the soul.
The release from what?
Of a cycle.
What cycle? From samsara. That's how you get off the Ferris wheel. How you get off the merry-go-round. That's how you get off whatever you want to call it. I saw you hand.
Yeah, Moshe is also one of the 4 goals.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There it is. One of the goals. All right? All right, let's move on. There are 4 stages of life. Here they are. Student, householder, forest dweller, wandering, ascetic. All right? Please check that out in your book. Student is celibate. Okay? And that goes throughout your entire life for both the male and the female. A householder is where you marry and you have kids and all that kind of stuff, and you live that for a while. And then when you get to a certain age, you become a forest dweller. You give up all the stuff you done earned and all I don't know about, there's no retirement or whatever. I don't know what it's like to work in this environment. And the wife may or may not be part of that. She can go with it. All right? Become a forest dweller. And then the last stage is as you get seriously elderly, you become a wandering ascetic. Normally, the wife does not go along with that. All right? And so she ends up being cared for by her children, her son, for the most part. And the wandering ascetic basically becomes sort of a guru or whatever, but they kind of give up all earthly possessions and just kind of live an ascetic life, meaning that they fast a lot and they don't, they don't participate in society or in any of that kind of stuff. An ascetic is like a monk, if you understand what I'm trying to say. But you do it not in a, what did monks used to, in the Middle Ages, what were they called? Say again? Monasteries, that's correct. But they don't go to a monastery, they just wander around. Okay? And so those are the 4 stages of life. That's all part of the laws of man. And the 4 goals of life, the 4 goals are on page, there's the 4 stages. The 4 goals are Kama, from whence we get the term Kama Sutra, the pursuit of pleasure. Okay, if you do some Googling on the internet, you will find temples that have nothing but sort of sexual positions on there, on Hindu temples, where, every conceivable sexual preference or style. The pursuit of pleasure is a significant portion of Hindu life. And it's basically during this phase, during the household phase. So I guess that once you come out of being celibate and you're looking forward to being a forest dwelling, you go for all you know right here. Okay? All right? And so the other area is Arthra, where basically you're focusing on politics, business, working hard in those areas. Dharma is faithfully following all of the rules and regulations of the religion. Okay? So this is pursuit of pleasure, business, art, literary, where you pursue excellence in areas of business and life and so on. Dharma is being faithful, being meticulous about all of the rules of Hinduism, and everybody knows what moksha is. Moksha is the desire, the goal of Hinduism is to be released from that circle of life called samsara. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, can you repeat about Arma and Dharma?
Dharma is being very careful to follow all of the rules of Hinduism. And I'll read to you what the text says about Artha. Artha, I think. Pursuing politics or materialism in commercial competition is the goal of Artha. It's one sentence in the book. It's on page 85. I'll read it again. Pursuing politics or the materialism of commercial competition is the goal of Artha. So it's excellence in these type of pursuits. That's Artha. Kama is the pursuit of pleasure. Dharma is focusing on the rules of Hinduism in a meticulous manner for the goal of finally doing what? Being released from samsara. Are we clear?
Yes.
Hand?
I have a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is soul and spirit the same thing or different? Like, I know soul and spirit.
Depending on the religion you're talking about. Where did you come up with the term? Where did you see that term? Or is that something you just been thinking about?
It was a question I was actually thinking.
It depends on the religion. Even in Christianity, there are different definitions for soul and spirit. Yeah, and so maybe when we get to that part, bring that question up again.
Okay.
All right? Because there are different religions that have different views on soul and spirit.
Like the mental, the holiness gap that they may have.
The great soul,
Yeah.
that's very broad from their perspective.
Mhm.
It's I would imagine, I'm not saying I'm correct, but I would imagine the connection between soul and spirit is very close with the mantu. If you understand what I'm saying. All right? Unless spirits may refer to gods, and the soul refers to the essence of the person.
Yeah. that's
Okay.
what I was-
You could be right. All right? Don't assume that I know everything. Okay? I mean, because sometimes y'all will teach me things that I don't know. Okay? And I focus very hard on the things I do know. What I know about, just take this advice. Know what you know and be clear on what you don't know. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
To me, that's how I am. I know what I know, but what I don't know, I ain't ashamed to say, well, I don't know. Okay. Are we good? I think that's it for this. I told you we're going to get out early today. Let's get to the test review. Now, I left my test at home. So now I got to find out if I think I put it here. So let me blank the screen, turn on some lights. I know it's on my computer. It's good I brought my computer because it's probably, let me see if I put it in here. Give me a moment. Those of you that have your the vocab list, wait, I can do it this way. Where is it? Yeah, there we are. Let's see if I uploaded it to my OneDrive account. That way. Because if I didn't, I know I have it on this computer. Tests. Yes, it's here. Hallelujah. All right, let's go full screen. And so, let's begin. Let's see, there's a pretest. Did everybody do pretest 3? Okay. And so here we go. Everything I say from henceforth is coming directly from the test. So if I tell you to focus on something, then you know that that's going to probably show up on the test. Are you ready?
You're recording this, right?
Yes, I am.
Or is it just that one student? I was just for everybody.
You know what? I make life too easy for y'all. I believe I make life way too easy for y'all. But for today, yes. But I'd rather you be here. Because if I keep doing all these nice things, I'll have 3 people in class and all of y'all be at home looking for the recordings and stuff. Waking up in your drawers and stuff, just, doing it there. But I'll make it available. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit the presentation I just showed you with the stuff and then give you the edited version and put it online. But I'm not going to do this all the time. I like to see your pretty faces. So don't. Okay? All right, cool. Here we go. Ready? If you don't say ready, I'm not going to. Oh, okay. All right. Please know everything that you can about the Nascapi and Mantu. We already showed about that. There's a term that I'd like you to be aware of. The one is called a shaman. SHAMAN. We talked about blood and the Aztecs. All right. I mentioned something about monotheism in Egyptian religion. If you want to read on that, it's on page, let's see, where is it? It's on page 47. I'm not a teacher. Let me tell you what I am. I facilitate your learning. I don't teach you. I point you to where to look, and you do your own learning. Okay? So don't expect me to spoon feed you, although I'm helping you. I'm going to make you look for what you need to find. But in the long run, that'll help you because the search itself is a process of learning. Okay? All right, let's keep it moving. All right. Did your vocabulary list have the term Ankh on it?
Yeah.
Make sure you know what that is. We talked about death and Egyptians' view on death, why they bury people the way they do. Please be familiar with that. Okay? Are you clear on that?
How do you spell
That's a good question. Someone help us. Go to your sheet and tell him how to spell Ankh.
Oh, okay.
A-N what?
K-H.
Good.
So what about that? What about
What did we talk about today about death and Egyptians? What did I talk? What did we talk about?
The pyramids.
The pyramids, and what did we learn about that? Help her out. She wants to know what about death and Egyptians. Tell her. Just summarize what you've learned and what I've shared today about death and Egyptians.
Incarnation of a kind of like passage or way to
To where are they going? To the underworld. And who's the god of the underworld? No, Horus. No, Osiris. Osiris was the one that died and got reanimated, and she, knocked boots with, All right, so okay, do y'all still use those terms? I don't know what.
No.
What do y'all say? You say y'all don't use them. In his voice, it sounded like, yeah, you old timers. His voice said, you old school. So what's the term y'all use now? I'm just curious. Knocking boots.
What's that mean?
See, you don't heard somebody from your old timers say what knocking boots was.
Sneaky link.
Sneaky link. Is that what that's called?
I would never.
No. Is that what y'all call it? No. He says sneaky link. What?
The person or the action?
No, it's the action. No, it's not. You ain't doing nothing with no shoes. No, that's that old school approach to saying it. But what do y'all call it now?
I call it sneaky on person. It depends on who you ask.
Sneaky link is really what it is.
Sneaky link? How does that even... Okay, forget it. Let's go back to the test. Y'all are silly. You know what? Every time I teach a face-to-face class, y'all teach me about y'all's culture. It's a whole different culture than the one I grew up with. All right? Anyway, let's keep it moving. I welcome these conversations, by the way. So make sure if there's something that y'all need to update me on, please update me. My granddaughter does her best. She's getting ready to turn 13, and she's 13 going on 30. Where was I? We were talking about death, right? So please familiarize yourself with the Egyptian approach to death and what they do in terms of, assisting a person having died and what that's all about. If you need a page, I'll tell you a page number, page 50. And when you do your vocabulary, it wouldn't hurt for you to just put the reference page on there so you can go back and double check. The reason why that's important is because your test is prepared by the publisher. So the language of the question on each for the test comes not from me, but from the publisher. So it will match up with what the publisher put in the book. You understand? So it's very important that you don't just some students like to get their information from other sources, which is cool. But when the test comes along, the language of the test is right from your textbook. So please be aware of that. All right, so we talked about that. Next, from pages 50 to 52, there's a lot of discussion about death and the Egyptian death ritual and things like that. Please familiarize yourself with that, specifically negative confession. We talk about samsara. I hope you know what that is.
How do you spell it?
Samsara. Am I right?
Real life.
Okay. There's some information about Arjuna. Remember he talked about Arjuna in the video? This is in Hinduism. Arjuna. There's a discussion between...
You're saying that our Aryans?
Who?
Are Ryans is the same?
Who?
No.
Are Eunice?
No. If you're looking at, we're talking about Hinduism now. Arjuna, and I'm saying it the way the guy said it in the movie. Arjuna is related to one of the gods of Hinduism. Okay, so and there's a story between. Do you remember in the movie where there was a chariot rider and one of the gods of Hinduism disguised themselves as the chariot driver? Do you remember that? The video is online. Go back and watch it. It's there. But it's also on page 81. Arjuna. Look for that name. If you're smart, what's the other way you can find it? Your index. Your index. ARJUNA. Let me see if it's in the index. Y'all have to learn how to work smart and not hard.
Oh, just find the book.
Yeah.
Like lost?
Your index. Learn how to use your textbooks. You think I read every word of every textbook I ever had?
It's not in there.
It's not in there? No? Okay, well, I already gave you a page. Page number. Okay, so I'm giving you a head start. I don't know if you'll take advantage of it. Like I told you, I'm going to show you where to find it. I'm not going to tell you the answer. Okay? And the process of searching for it, you will remember it beyond the test. That's the point. My point is, I want you to make an A on the test. I do want that. But I want you also to remember 10 years from now who Arjuna was. And you will remember because you look for it.
How many questions is the test?
25.
25.
Remember, how many did not miss one of the pre-tests? How many saw all the pre-tests? So you've seen some of the questions already. Don't skip that. That's cash money right there. That's cash.
So if we get all the ones right in the pre-test, we got like half the test right already.
Yeah, but some of the questions are not in the test. Some of the questions. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But I want you to get a good grade, but I also want you to learn. I don't expect you to know chapter and verse of every religion. We don't have enough time to do all that. But I do want you to get the general gist of it. And I gave you in my summary at the end of before the test, that summary is to try to give you the gist of some things about African religion, some things about Hinduism, and some things about Native American religion. The big points. Okay? Let's keep it going. I'm up. Okay, where did I leave off? Arjuna, right? Did I give you the term guru? Did I give you that
Yeah.
it's in your thing? Make sure you pay attention to that. You know where that is found? Go read up on it, what it talks about. Okay? We talk a lot about karma. Did we? Please go back and read it in the textbook. There's phrases and stuff in there that will help you. Karma. Anybody know what page it's on? Did you put page numbers on all of your?
No, but I was doing it last night, so I already had it side by side. So
Cool. That's a wise thing to do. Just to put the page number where you found the information, because sometimes the language in the paragraph is the very language of the question. Okay? All right. Okay. Know what the laws of Manu is.
The laws of Manu.
Manu. Manu. Know what that is. Does anybody need the page number?
Yes.
83. Somebody dropped a thing. I told you what samsara is. Know that well, inside and out. Samsara, Samsara. 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 Huh?
Your PowerPoint was misspelled.
What did I have?
Samara.
Samar, yeah.
Thank you. I will correct that. Thank you so much. I was in such a rush to do it yesterday.
You didn't have Arjuna on there, I don't think.
I didn't?
Not on the vocab.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, everything's not on the vocab. That's why I do the review. How did I spell samsara?
S-A-M.
Just one S.
I left the S out?
Yeah.
Thank you. Corrected and saved. Moving on. All right. Know the 4 goals, what the 4 goals were? I already explained that. Okay.
Of Hinduism?
Yeah, the 4 goals.
Focus of life, right?
Yeah. I think it was in the PowerPoint.
Karma, arts, dharma, and moksha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And know what moksha is, please know. Moksha, M-O-K-S-H-A. All right.
Do you have the page number for that one?
Sure. Oh, for moksha? Actually, let me see. Well, I can give you the page number for the 4 stages of life.
I'll take that.
All right. And that's page 85. All right. The question you asked, is it Shantae, right?
Yeah.
The question you asked about soul. Look at page 80, because I think soul is mentioned on page. Oh no, I'm sorry, page 20. Page 20, because there's a question about that in the text. Okay. I'm looking at some of these, and I've seen these in the pretest, so I'm not going to give you pretest questions, or should I? I gave you Oh God! If I had money on the table, you take it too.
I'm not the one to block the blessing.
I feel that. Henotheism. Did I give you that?
What?
Henotheism. Is that in your? Know that definition? Henotheism. Is that in your? I know. I think it is. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. We talked about the Aztecs and what they're about. What we mentioned that today. There's a question about how the Egyptians viewed the universe. On page 49, see if you can figure out what their view of the universe was.
49.
Page 49. There's a question about Gandhi. Read up on Gandhi. There's a question here about conflict in India between religions. I think that was in your pretest.
Yeah.
Okay, so you may see that again. And there's also some ideas about how Hindus believe, or they view the view of the universe in relationship to the Big Bang Theory. Did anybody remember seeing that in the pretest? Okay, I'm done. That's it. I've just gone through the whole test.
So you won't have like the names like the Hernando Cortez, like the Vishnu.
If I haven't mentioned it, now what I've done is I've now focused your study, didn't I? Yes.
So this test is more like the laws and stuff pertaining, not really specific about like.
Yeah, I'm not trying to trick you. I'm not trying to do that. I told you that, I want you to hear this. I told you that grades to me are not important, so I work hard to make it so that you're not going to struggle to get a good grade. But I want you to enjoy the acquisition of information. Okay? I don't want you to cram. Get ready to leave as soon as I can get my last few words out, if I can. Because I got Popeye waiting on me. Do you all know that if you fill out that thing on the back of the Popeyes receipt, you get 2 free pieces of chicken? I know the manager of this one Popeyes, so they always look at Anyway, I'm saying that, I'm hoping that you do well on your tests. Couple of things I want to say. Don't sleep on your discussion groups. Don't sleep on that because that's 10 big points. That could be the difference between an A and a B. Don't miss those. Now, if you did miss 1 or 2, listen to me now. There's 25 discussion questions. If you miss 1 or 2, it will not affect you severely. But if you just completely ignore it, if you constantly just do one post of your own and not answer any of, you will only get 4 points. And if you stumble anywhere else in the class, those 10 points can help you, if you follow me. If you're averaging a 92 and you don't do any vocab, that drops to 82. You see what I'm saying? Don't sleep on that, okay? And the other thing not to sleep on is the long vocabulary assignment. That's 20% of your grade. All right? There's some videos, there's some YouTube videos I want you to watch. I'm going to talk a lot about it in class. You have a benefit that my online students don't have. I'm going to lecture on Christianity and Judaism and all that stuff. A lot of the content that will help you with that paper is going to be in those lectures. They can only watch it on YouTube, okay? But you will have the benefit of an in-person, time with me. So, are there any questions? Anything that wasn't clear? Anything that in the review that you want me to touch on? Yes.
When is
The test is the next class period. Our next class period, which is next Tuesday, which is a good way. You got enough time to get yourself together. Do not take the test online before you come to class. I will prompt the test here. Okay? You will be taking it online. So bring some device whereby you can take the test. Okay?
Right.
Your grade will be instantaneous online. That's so cool. I don't have to take Scantrons nowhere. I don't correct nothing. So it immediately will tell you what your grade is on your test.
Can we leave after the test?
Oh no, we got work to do. Oh no, oh no. I got to get into the next chapter because I only have 2 class periods to cover a whole chapter. And so that's why I do the movies, because the movies covers the material and I don't lose my voice. Okay, and so the way I do things and the way I'm looking like, I'm going to show you a video right after the test, and then the second day of class, then you do the pre-test also. You do the pre-test, and then the next class period, then I highlight stuff that I want you to focus on. So please watch the video because the video has valuable stuff in it. Okay, he covers a lot more material than I do. And so the day after the video, I go back and I highlight what I want you to remember from the video. That's my process. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, how much time do we have to complete the test?
As long as you want. But most people finish my tests in less than 15 minutes because of the way I do things. You're not wrestling over stuff. You're going to see stuff you've seen before. Are we clear?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? If you don't want your Popeyes coupon, bring it back, see me. Yeah, have a good day.